Welcome back. You're watching Signature Morning on Signature Television. Earlier, we spoke to you about the issues that the University of Nigeria and Nsukka has been facing lately. And it's about the incessant missing of students, the death of some, and the kidnappings of some. We have someone who is on the line who will speak to us a little more about what's going on in the university. Mr. Akumas, Uche, thank you so much for joining us. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning to you, and thank you for having me on air.
Just chronicle, give us an overview of what you think is going on in the university, especially as it concerns security.
Well, I have to start by saying that issue of insecurity in our universities, in our different campuses and all of that has gained a serious global concern that needs an urgent attention. This is because of the outbreak of students who have been found missing in University of Nigeria and Nsukka as a case study. However, this whole thing is also what is happening in other universities, and it is because the people in charge have not really done much as regards to that to be able to cope with the situation. A situation where three first-year students who just gained admission were being found missing. One was identified in a particular hotel where she jumped out, or she was pushed by the person she hung out with in a hotel, in a particular hotel in Nsukka, or she was jumped out. We cannot really tell the story because we were not there to witness or to affirm exactly what happened. Nobody knows what actually happened, why she was pushed from a story building, or why she jumped out and all of that. So it is a serious issue. And also one was also found inside two was also found inside the campus and all of that. And one got missing, nobody knows her whereabouts. And it is what we are seeing. And this is what the academic staff union ASU has been shouting before now. That is why they've been calling on federal government to fund our universities, because they foreseen the dangers ahead, and they've been shouting over it that federal government should fund the university so that they will be able to put things on ground to checkmate some of those things that we are experiencing today that is happening in the universities and all of that. Not just in University of Nigeria and Nsukka. This thing is actually happening. It come across board. It's something that is happening all over universities in Nigeria. But it's so sad that it has repeatedly happened in UNN, in past 1 month and all.
What about the authorities? How are the authorities reacting to this latest development? You gave us 3 different scenarios. I also understand that that could be even more, kidnappings or even deaths that's related to insecurity. How are the authorities reacting to this situation?
Well, I think in recent times they've been able to send out a memo and all of that, trying to warn the students on the way at which they are going out, and without informing people. There have been some security checks, but however, I think it is not really enough. They should beef up the security aspect of University of Nigeria and Nsukka. They should do more as regards to that. But if it's trying, they are really trying the little they can in their own way.
Would you would you also say it's a case of kidnap? Because one of the scenes or incidents you actually recorded, or you said it talked about, is the lady that was found outside the school in a hotel. So what also measures are put in place against such acts?
Well, to the best of my knowledge, I can't really say this is the measures that have been put in place, but what we are saying is that students should be informing their colleagues wherever they are going to, so that on that it will help the school management to be able to trace such cases, but putting measures or trying to bring in some disciplinary measures as regards to that, I personally cannot really say this has actually happened.
Okay, Mr. Uche, you are a postgraduate student of UNN. Now,
Yes.
I know there are a lot of people also who have their opinion because even University of Nigeria, the Enugu campus, there have been several cases of people, men who will come in and park at night, especially at the female hostels, and live with the ladies, and come back later. Sometimes it is not a question of who carried who or who took who out, or the voluntary nature or the indisciplined nature of the ladies. Do you understand? So,
Yeah.
do you think is the case of the indiscipline in the lives of these ladies that resulted to this act?
Yes, it is. It is the indiscipline aspect of the ladies, because the truth is that this thing is something that nobody, forced to live a certain life in the campus. If you are to live a normal life as a student, read a book, go to night class or go to classes and all of that and come back, you will not really get into all those things. But when you trying to live a certain lifestyle, or when you are not, contented with what your parents or your guidance are giving to you and all of that, it can result to issues of such that we're hearing in our university. So, but if they are contented with what they have, I don't think much of this will be happening. Even if it will happen, it may not really happen the way we are expressing it today.
Okay, so what do you think should be done? You are a student of UNN, a postgraduate, I understand. What do you think should be done to curb the indisciplinary act of, I would say, especially our female students and the male ones as well?
Well, if you are to ask me what do I think that the university should do to cope this situation, I think I can give you three things that I think if I should recommend it to really help a lot. But if it's stopping those ladies, this thing is a thing of choice. Something you can consent to it, something you can also opt out to. So it all depends on the person involved. And the school management, they are not actually following the students wherever they are going to, and they are not there to monitor their activities or whatever they are doing at that moment. They only do their job, and that is all. They are also human beings like us too, that are also scared, because this thing can happen to anybody. It can either happen to the students or to the management and all of that. We are all vulnerable in Nigeria because of the insecurity and all of that. So, but if we go to say, what do you think that should be put in measure to curb some of this situation? I would say that the federal government should start funding the universities, so that the universities, have equipment that they can function with, like CCTV, especially to curb those ones that are happening inside the university. We have CCTV, for instance, in the university, in nook and cranny of the university. I think it will help to ameliorate some of these issues that we're experiencing. Then I also believe or think that if they can bring in more security men, if they can employ more security men, let them cover every hideout in UNN. Let them be on alert. Wherever you are going in the school campus, you definitely see the security, not just being in a particular spot. I think that alone can also help. Then another thing they are also going to do is to engage the students, try to have a kind of sensitization or public enlightenment that will let them know that some of these things they are doing are not really the best way. Because the truth is that gone on in the days where you see students being sensitized, where you see agencies or NGOs or even the management trying to hold seminar or conference, trying to discuss all of those things, that those children, some of them don't really know the danger they are putting themselves into. But if there are public enlightenment or sensitization as regards to that, I think it will help to reduce some of these crimes that we're seeing that happening in the
All right. There was this student that was kidnapped and was found recently. I don't know if you know about the particular story. And
Okay.
there was also another story of a lady who was found in the gutter close to the boys' hostel, decomposing at the time that they found her. I'm just wondering, what is the effect of all of these incidences on the local community? How is the local community of the university, relating to this particular issue?
Well, when we heard the news, it was a very big blow to the students and to the school management as well. And everybody was really scared and all of that. But after which, when something happened, after 3 or 4 days, everything was cleared up and all of that. And I think that this is where it is area of concern, where the management has to, make sure that these things don't happen again. Maybe getting enough hands, like I said, security outfits to secure the system or the school environment. Because when we got the news, everybody was really scared. Even the local communities, everybody fought at it. But after which, we have not seen much that has changed in the aspect of the security outfits. So,
but did they release any statements? Has the school authority released any statement regarding the one that has been kidnapped and found, and then this other one that was found decomposing very close to a boys' hostel at the university? Was there any statements regarding what really happened, how it happened, and investigation ongoing?
Well, I can't really say for sure whether I saw anything of such or not. Maybe there is, but I didn't get it. Maybe it didn't go around, or it was not well circulated. But I, for one, didn't see anything of such. Maybe they are coming up with another strategy for that.
All right.
So, Ms. Uche,
I'm with you.
okay, so you said that you don't know if they are trying to do anything to track the culprits.
Yeah.
Hmm?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't really know. I'm not part of them. Maybe they have their plan and they have what they're doing.
Okay, I understand that University of Nigeria is a government school. Is there anything that, apart from the school, that the government is also doing in like manner to be able to apprehend the culprits?
Well, we wouldn't know for sure until whenever we hear that the corporates have been apprehended. But for now, we can't really say. And it is because federal government is really being prepared to answer demand. Because if they are doing something about it, if they are bringing out resources to help the school management to cope those situations, we'll be hearing this issue. You can imagine a university of such integrity, there are not much sensitivity, or not sensitivity to cope those situations. Because at this moment, we shouldn't be talking about those insecurities if we have the right facilities on ground to make about those activities.
Okay, in terms of sensitization, there are some schools in Nigeria that don't allow their students to leave the school premises. I say that recalling the case, the instance we cited earlier on about how ladies, it felt like it was sometimes as if it's perceived like the female hostel of the unique angle of University of Nigeria is more like a brutal, in quotes, as in women would just come park and call, and ladies come. Sometimes they would just parade, enter the car and leave. So are there measures put in place? Because this is not something that started happening today or yesterday. So are there measures that the school authority is putting in place to curb such act? Because first off, it puts the school in a bad light. Now, what measures are being put in place to curb such promiscuous activity or going on in our tertiary institution?
Well, in recent times, I discovered that University of Nigeria has been make sure that all the hostels have their gate, and this is what they've been doing. And at particular time, the gate must be locked, so no going in, no coming out. But this is also a university, so as we call it, that we have adults. People will believe that are adults that still make decisions on their own, irrespective of any punishment or any disciplinary measure that have been put in place to checkmate all of those things. Anyone else to government may be coming up on the management may be coming up to cause the situation. You see, it still boils down to the people involved, to try to be careful with their type of lifestyle and being contentment with what they have and all of that. So that's what I have to say as regards to that.
Right. I understand that this particular issue has some historical perspectives. So much so that these kinds of things, disappearance of students, incessant kidnappings, may have happened in the past, and it was continuous. What then did the university do? Do you think that measure that they took at the time that helped it to abate can be applied now?
Well, if you talk about when it all started happening and all of that, it was actually many years ago that we experienced this, and in fact, everybody thinks everything has normalized and all of that, not knowing up until now when we started hearing those things happening within months of June and July, as the case may be. In the space of 1 month, a lot has happened as regards to that. So I believe the management are actually working out strategies or modalities to curb the situation, because the truth is that when you were not expecting something to happen, when you were not prepared, maybe there were not much funds or more facilities to put on ground to treatment all of those things, it's only going to affect, So maybe they are doing something about that. I cannot really say for sure what they are doing. Maybe the management will be the one to tell the students or the public what they are doing to curb the situation. But we can only say what we know as regards to that in our own end. But if it's an issue of concern, it is really an issue of concern as the case may be.
All right. I know you've mentioned personal security as one of the ways to curb these issues. Personal security as telling someone where you are going to, who you are going out with. Are there any other useful tips? And for you, as someone who is a PG student, who, of course, you've passed through that university, you've been there for a long time, so you are able to say a thing or two. How do you identify somebody who is not genuine? Maybe a kidnapper or an armed robber. How do you identify a suspicious person around that area?
Well, you can't really identify. It takes an intelligent security personnel to be able to understand that. So I think what they should do is to ensure that more hands are being employed. Maybe look out for people who are much educated or who are well-trained personnel to come into the system and all of that. But if it's by mere understanding, identifying such will be very difficult. It's only based on assumption, which may be right or wrong. But I think that people should be careful the way they're trying to relate with somebody that you found out to be a total stranger. You don't just get close to the person immediately. You don't just try to jump into the person because somebody stopped you and you now give out your contact immediately, or you jump into the person's car without knowing who the person is. It is very wrong, because you don't know, you can't really tell who is who and who are until the motive or not. So that is the situation we find ourselves. So people have to be careful in their movements and in their decisions.
All right. I understand that we have some messages online. If we can display that, then we would. But let me just come back to you. I understand that you are about to sue the federal government on certain issues. I don't know what it is, but can you highlight that a little bit? What's going on between you and the federal government?
Well, I have a problem with federal government, and this is because persons with disability in Nigeria, persons with disability who are graduates, persons who are disabled, who are being neglected. I have to say that there are a lot of persons who are disabled in Nigeria who graduated from our universities, from different universities in Nigeria, and as I speak with you, there is no employment for such individuals, and it's a very big issue. No employment. You can imagine somebody suffering, going through the system, making sure that he or she passes the exams, go hungry just to make sure that you become a graduate and all of that, and after which there will be no employment. Some persons graduated 2015, 2013, 2014, 2012, and 2010 up until now don't really have employment, and nobody is asking how are they surviving. Nobody cares to know how are those people living. Nobody is asking what is their welfare like, what is happening in their lives. For us who are able, we can really cope. Maybe even if you don't have employment, you can maybe do some menial jobs and all of that to be able to cope. But for such individuals, how are they doing it? Who is actually helping them? Nobody cares to know about that. So it's something that we are calling on federal government to do something, because we are seriously going to make sure that we go into this action and do something about that. And I think if care is not taken, it will result in taking federal government to federal high court, in one of the federal high courts in Nigeria, so that we'll be able to discuss about this maybe in the court and not a way out. They talk about 5% of persons with disability, giving them employment. How have they been using this 5%? Nobody knows. What has been happening to this 5% that was signed into law by President Muhammadu Buhari in 2019? Nobody is asking questions. What happened to it?
But hold on a second. Are you saying that there's a law that provides that everyone who is disabled, who's a graduate, must have a job after graduation? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that is 5%. That's 5% that was signed into law by President Muhammadu Buhari in 2019. That any parastatal or agency, any federal parastatal or agency that is giving employment must give 5% employment to persons with disability.
All establishments under government. All establishments under government and private firms should give members of the disabled community 5% of their workforce, is that?
No, for federal government.
Okay, for federal government. 5% of their workforce.
5%.
And that has not happened since Goodluck Jonathan signed it into law.
It has not happened since 2019. If they say it is happening, let them show us who they've been able to employ, how have they been doing it, because for all I know, in fact, if I should release a list of unemployed persons who are disabled, you will be marveled. You will even begin to wonder how have they been surviving. What has life become after graduating and all of that? A situation where many graduates, where many persons who are graduates are going into street begging because government neglect. There are quite a couple of them who finished from our local institutions, and right now as I speak with you, they are on the street begging because nobody is assisting them, because nobody cares to know what is happening around them. No federal government employment, which should have been a priority, which government should be, the first people to do so. But you see such people wasting on the road as a result of not having employment.
All right. Thank you so much. I'm sure that in due course we would have some time with you on the show to discuss further this particular issue, an aspect that you're looking to sue the government on. Thank you so much. We truly appreciate you, okay?
Really appreciate too. Thank you for contacting me. And I appreciate what the people are doing. And I said you should keep it up. It's a very good thing. and only God will strengthen you people. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Thank you. Still on the security of, thank you so much, Uche, Kalu, Amas. Still on the security of lives of our students on the university campuses, a cause for concern. We have some reactions from the internet, and we want to show you that, yeah. Neddy Edit, that's at Ned Michael. He says he's not the first to. There is a 300 level guy that was kidnapped here before. Like 4 kidnaps at the moment. Okay, that's from Neddy. Okay. Uncle Alex said, you can't cry more than the bereaved. When the students are ready, they know what to do. Immediately the girl's body was found. The school should have shut down. She's supposed to be matriculating today, but nah. Adawere says, apparently students in UNN have been going missing almost on a daily basis. Why is Enugu mainstream media silent about this? Why is the government not saying anything? Wow. Adawere is still saying on this, says, girl, they are talking about it on class GC with pictures and all. Apparently they dropped someone without head at the Padelia Hotel. Another guy in final year pharmacy is missing. Last they heard from him was that he wanted to pick up waybill. Wow. Emerging Energy Solution, that's at Thinker's Corner, says even a lady was found dead at the back of Eninjoku's hostel at Nsukka campus not up to 3 weeks ago. What's happening? Tina Azukego at Azukego says, are their students not on social media? If the media is not talking, aren't they scared for their lives? Wow. Monachi at Monf FGR. He said, the girl that went to a hotel, deceased. The girl that her body was found near the stadium, deceased. One missing student was found. There is something happening behind the scenes, and the targets are female students. Monachi Onyuku at Monachi Onyuku says, the school authorities aren't saying anything about it. Oh, there must be, Charles, why do you think the school authority aren't saying anything? At Bo Under Ogu says, a first-year female corpse was dropped near stadium. A first-year female corpse was found in a hotel. Another died at a party. One was kidnapped, left hostel to meet her boyfriend, but has returned. And a 500 level pharmacist has also gone missing. On this matter, it's actually, I think it's quite scary. You know, first, the government ain't even saying anything about it. Then the school authorities, they're not also saying anything about this. And these are lives. These are people's lives. And they are not chickens that you said maybe it's something that you will find, that missing chicken, possibly you find it in Chicken Republic, on someone's plate. But no, these are lives. And they're not saying, people are not saying anything about it. The people that are supposed to be accountable for these people aren't saying anything. It calls for concern.
Yes, indeed. I'm sure that's the reason why we have beamed our searchlight on this matter. And we're going to continue. It's not just going to stop today. We're going to continue engaging, especially those who are in authority in that school, because I understand there's supposed to be security within the school. The very simple way to run off being accounted for is probably, some of them will say these things don't happen within the camp, but we've seen and heard people passing on within the campus, especially the one that has to do with the lady who was found at the gutter very close to boys, another one who got missing within the campus. So you would wonder, these authorities in UNN not speaking about this not particular matter. Is there something that they're doing?
Chelsea would even be student